What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Night Terror's Batman issue number 1. Coming from the writer Joshua Williamson, the artist is Gilliam March. And before we even dive into this, I highly recommend that you go check out Night Terror's First Blood issue number 1. It is the introduction to all of this. What we have seen from that issue is a mysterious and deadly new villain by the name of Insomnia. The entire world has been forced into an eternal slumber. This includes all the heroes and all the villains. Insomnia is searching their dreams for the Nightmare Stone. And this issue number 1 of Batman is going to be dropping us right into the Dark Knight's nightmares. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so before we dive into this, I do want to let you know that you're going to want to stay all the way to the end because we do have a little side story that is Damian Wayne. But this story is picking us up with Alfred and Batman. Years ago, Batman had learned how to isolate his fears, but now he wants to take it a step further. He knows his fears. Now he needs to know how to keep others from using these fears against him. And while Alfred, he's definitely advising against doing something like this, worrying what it could do to his psyche in the long term, what it might create in him, as he jumps into his Batman-style deprivation tank. And while he is in here, he is having memories of Crime Alley, of that fateful day, the day that changed his life forever, the day that Joe Chill had shot down his parents. He relives that day over and over and over again. After 24 hours, Alfred wakes him up. Now, with Alfred bringing him out of the tank, Batman is coming to the conclusion that he is never going to be over the night that Joe Chill had killed his parents. No matter how many times he witnesses it, nothing will ever take away that pain. But he does believe that this might come in handy one day. This is what jumps us into present day, a young Bruce Wayne in Crime Alley. As his father calls out to him, Bruce knows that this is not his dad. He knows that he is not a young boy in an alley, that none of this is real. He remembers everything. He knows that John Dee was killed in Arkham Tower, that this person took over his body, attacked Batman with giant spiders, and they knocked him out. All of this is a nightmare. But now he is left wondering, why can he not wake up? This is what brings him to the theater. As the screen turns on, we can see what is happening in real life. We see that Insomnia has Batman in his grasp. And at first, Bruce is confused. How is he still moving in the waking world if he is asleep, trapped in his nightmare? This is when he sees Dead Man. Boston is the one responsible. And obviously, this makes Bruce very angry, because he had told Boston to never take over his body. Now Batman simply cannot wake up because Deadman is driving. His mind is showing him this so he'll understand. But Boston is creating roadblocks that is stopping Bruce from taking control. As he touches the screen, we see him get sucked in. This is what takes him to his parents' home, seeing the gravestones of all that he has lost, of everyone he could lose. And Bruce says that none of this scares him, telling whoever is doing this to show yourself, to get to the point and tell me what it is you want. This is when Insomnia lets him know that he's not doing any of this. And that's part of the fun for him. Bruce is the one that is controlling the tour of his nightmares, with Insomnia showing up behind him dressed as Robin, saying that he's a big fan of Batman. He grew up in Gotham, lived there his whole traumatic life, even going as far as saying that he would love to be the sidekick to Batman. All he must do is help him find the Nightmare Stone, because Dr. Destiny hid it in one of their nightmares. And if Bruce is to tell him where this stone is, the nightmare could be over for all of them. As we see the dead coming to life, asking baby Bruce if he is in. We see the young Bruce taking out his parents, taking out his children, his friends, his family. But as young Bruce is unable to speak, we see something coming up his throat. As he throws it up, what it is a bat with a freaking gun on its head. This is a manifestation of Batman's darkness. When he became Batman, he turned himself into a creature of the night, transformed himself into a symbol of nightmares. But now that nightmare, it has taken on a mind of its own. His own darkness turned against him. But this is when Bruce says that he should thank Insomnia, because he felt the blast from that gun, and it freed him. He knows what he must do now. He must go deeper into his own nightmare, into his own mind, so he can regain control of his body. And then he's coming for Insomnia. But Insomnia tries to let him know that he's making a mistake, that he is bringing up fears. Like he told him, he is the one building this nightmare, not Insomnia. That Bruce has lived in the darkness and thought of some of the worst scenarios known to man. That if he goes too deep into his own mind, there is no telling what he might find, what else his mind might create. This is where he wakes up, and Batman Bruce Wayne, he is in the body of Joe Chill, right at that fateful moment before the trigger is pulled. But he has no control. As he hits that trigger, as we hear the bang, that is where this issue will end. And this is what picks us up with the side story with Damian Wayne. Now Damian, he has made his way to this location to meet up with a type of guru. His grandfather used to speak in him in whispers, the master of sleep and dreams. And as we saw from the free comic book day issue of this series, he had a nightmare. At first, he thought it was just his thoughts. He thought it was something else. He kept searching his mind, and then it all connected. Somebody was crossing the dreamscape. They were searching for something. And so he wishes to use this temple, the book, all of its teachings to unlock his dreams, to understand what has been shown to him. Being guided to where all the books are, he is told that before he can unlock his dreams, he must first learn to sleep properly. And Damian is coming to the conclusion that if he can stop sleep, he can keep the dreams at bay. But this is something that is very difficult to learn. The body needs sleep. That you may be able to force yourself to stay awake, but your body will endure the hardship. This is where he opens up a scroll. He sees the sand of time is coming to an end. He sees Insomnia. He sees Deadman. And he sees the Nightmare Stone. This is when the call comes in from Batman. The red alert, emergency protocols, no sleep till Gotham. This is when that purple insomnia power comes in, knocking everybody in the room out. Damian believes that he is able to fight against this, saying that it worked and he can stay awake, that he remembers the nightmare, and so now he must go find his father, and then insomnia will pay. Alright gang, so as we jump back into Night Terrors, currently in the real world we have Sandman, Damian Wayne, and Batman, all at Gotham Wayne Tech. We don't really know what's going on here, but we see both Batman and Damian Wayne. They are sitting in some seats. They are hooked up to IVs. We're just getting a small glimpse of what is actually going on. But these panels will continue on in Night Terrors issues number 3 and 4. In the meantime, we are headed back into the nightmares of Batman. We are picking up where he is the one that is Joe Chill. He is the one that kills his parents. And as they sit in this alleyway, we see the young Bruce Wayne. He sits and he cries by the dead parents. But it doesn't take long for this young Bruce Wayne to attack Joe Chill. Grabbing his face, he begins to claw and rip out it. Lacerations and blood everywhere. But we see Joe Chill ripped away, and underneath is none other than the Bat. And the young Bruce Wayne is saying that you wanted all of this. That you needed to become the Batman. And while Batman is telling Insomnia to back off, the young Bruce Wayne is saying that I'm not Insomnia. That you and I are the same. That this is all you are. This is where we see many other young Bruce Wayne showing up, and every single one of them begin to attack the Bat. But Batman knows that he doesn't have to fight him or this nightmare. He needs to do what he has never wanted to do. He needs to let go and let the nightmare take control. As all of the young Bruce Waynes begin to pile up on the Batman, we see him take to the sky. In the real world, Batman may not wish to have Superman's powers, but here in his dreams, it takes on a different meaning. As Batman now flying in the sky, he knows that once he has the opportunity to unpack all of this, once it's over, he will. But in this moment, he can't waste any time dwelling on his dreams and nightmares. He knows that this is not the real Gotham. This is his mind processing the nightmare realm. Knowing this information, he can skip past it. He can head deeper into his own mind, into the garden of his dreams that need tending to. One that is full of weeds. A weed named Deadman. You see, Batman's mind catalogs its dreams. Some are a glimpse of his complicated heart, while others are lies. What he needs to do is a shock to his system. He needs to do this so that Deadman's control will be let loose. As he travels through his own mind, he arrives at the Black Door. A door that is chained up in the mind of Batman. As he arrives at it, this is where Insomnia shows his face. He finds himself curious on if this is where D had hid the Nightmare Stone. Because by all appearances, this really does look like where John Dee would want to hide the Nightmare Stone. A door that wants people kept out of it. But Batman says that he doesn't have the Nightmare Stone. But Insomnia tells him to open up the door. Now, Batman has been obsessed with control for years. Insomnia has shown him that his dreams will give him exactly what he needs to beat Insomnia. He tells Insomnia to get out of my dreams, to get out of my nightmares, or he is going to show him something that is truly scary. Insomnia saying that you're not playing by the rules, and he sends in the gun bat. This is where Batman goes full Matrix on him, looking like the one, looking like freaking Neo. We see Batman stop the bullets being shot from Gunbat. With a simple rise of his hand, those bullets stop mid-air. But while this happens, Insomnia is being pulled away. Something is happening in the land of nightmares. Something that is pulling Insomnia away. While Batman is currently taking on the gun bat. It doesn't take long for Batman to rip that gun right off the bat's head. This is where Batman goes over to the Black Door. He busts the chains off and he goes inside. And Batman wasn't lying. Dr. Destiny didn't put this door here. Batman did. This is not part of his nightmare. This is him. That fateful day in the alley. The memory that has been tucked away in his psyche. Protected from everything and everyone. Because Insomnia was right about one thing. There is a piece of Batman that will forever be in that alley. He was alone with his parents' bodies for 90 minutes before a cop happened upon them. But none of that is the nightmare that he hid behind the Black Door. This boy was alone in the alley, and he made a promise to himself. A vow of vengeance. And ever since that day, he has wondered, if that boy in the alley saw him today, would he be scared of him? Would he be disappointed in the man that he would become? Did he let down that young Bruce Wayne? This is where Batman walks up to him. A young Bruce Wayne, terrified, petrified, crying his eyes out. And Batman speaks to the younger him. He tells him that in this moment, you think that your mission is yours. You think that this is yours and yours alone. But you are never alone. You'll have a life unlike anything that you have ever expected. And for a long time, you'll stay isolated. You'll hide away in the shadows. But there will be others that find you in the dark. Friends that you could never imagine. Some that can fly, shoot fire from their eyes, stop bullets with bracelets. Those that are fast enough to break the speed barrier. And you will have children who will make you a better man. And while this may sound like a dream, it is so much more than that. It is your family. With this heart-wrenching moment of the young Bruce Wayne embracing Batman, he takes off his cowl and he thanks him. The young Bruce saying that he is so very proud of him, but he does wonder why you dress like a bat. He tells him because they can be scary, but the young Bruce, he thinks that bats are cool, and Batman has to agree. This is where Batman begins to rise up. This was it. Deadman is no longer in control. As Batman rises up to the waking world, he sees the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh. He breaks free of his own mind, the black door slamming shut. And when Batman comes to, he finds himself at Arkham Tower, his body never feeling more sore or exhausted in his entire life. Now he's wondering what the heck did Deadman do to him? As he looks out the window, he sees Gotham City, believing that maybe he's still in the nightmare. But this is when a young Damian Wayne comes to him. He tells him that this is in fact the real world, because the war against insomnia, that is a war that they lost. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This story will continue on in Night Terrors issue number 3 and 4. The question that now looms: is this real, or is Batman still trapped in his own nightmares? This was a fun issue. I've said it multiple times already, I don't want to beat a dead horse. But man, is Night Terrors some of the best stuff that DC has come out with all year long. Part of me really did think about skipping this entire event in its entirety, but I'm glad I didn't, because this has been a great opportunity for writers to really dig into the psyche of our heroes, of our villains, and Batman is no exception. Behind that black door was a young Bruce Wayne, a young boy crying in the alley, and Batman went to him. He let him know that your life may be hard in this moment, but it gets better. That you eventually have friends. You eventually have a family. You have those around you that you love and you will do anything to protect. And this appears to give the young Bruce Wayne a little bit of solace, a little bit of hope for the future, on what is yet to come. But there is a question that is still looming. Is Batman back in the real world, or is he still stuck in a nightmare? When Batman looked at that window, looking at Gotham, it looked very War of the Worlds. And so I think it is very easy, very safe to say that this is still a nightmare. That whatever is going on with Batman and Damian, they are now having a shared psychosis, if you will. They are having a shared nightmare, like we have seen many times so far. Now, if Damian was able to put himself into the nightmare, or if he was always in the nightmare, is still very much up for debate. But this was a beautiful trip through the mind of Bruce Wayne. We get to see some of his greatest fears, some of his biggest hopes. We even get to see him be Superman for a moment. But I think it is very important to point out that Batman's psyche has really been through the ringer lately. From having his hand cut off to dealing with everything that is going on, traveling the multiverse, hunting down a Joker, dealing with the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh. And now there's this idea in his head that he may want to be Superman, or that his biggest fear is that he becomes Superman. All of this Batman is gonna have to unpack sooner or later. While now definitely isn't the time to worry about his mental state, there's gonna be a point where he has to stop, that he has to really dive into his psyche and figure out what's going on. Because by the looks of it, it looks like Superman might be having a mental break soon. With the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh fighting against him, it is only gonna be a matter of time before Batman has to battle his own mind. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with Night Terrors, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50. From loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.